Hey, and welcome to Spark Guides. My name is Pitch Black Itai. I'm going to be your guide for this afternoon's tutorial. As always, Spark Guides is brought to you by your SWAT team or Spark World Ambassador team. Always dedicated to helping players developing their skills. We do this to the highest potential using various tutorials, strategy and tactics guides, as well as one-on-one training. Today's guide is going to bring you the basics of Spark. We'll talk a little bit about spawn points and spawn pens, changing teams, using your radar, movements and weapons, flags, switches, portals, not to mention various terrains and barriers within Spark that you'll find. Let's try first of all changing our teams. Now there's two methods to change your teams. One is to go up to our menu options button over here, clicking New Team, and we'll go to the blue team. The other option is just simply pressing the F4 key. Now you'll notice if you try to do this too soon, you'll get a message up top saying it's too soon to change teams again. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go back to the green team, and I want to point your attention right up here to the holding timer. Depending on the map and depending on how it's created, you'll have anywhere from a couple of seconds holding time to a potential of 15 seconds holding time. Now, as soon as that timer is counted down, it'll give you the message that you can move to exit the holding pen. And as soon as you move your ship, you're going to exit through your spawn point. Each team has their own spawn points, red, green, blue, and yellow. So depending on your team, you're going to spawn wherever you are. Let's talk a little bit about the radar before I get into movements. As you notice, on your radar, you can see me passing by various things. There are two yellow switches here that have already been switched to the yellow team. But you see my green cursor or green square down here. And it's moving away from everything. With your radar, you can see where everything is. You can see the two flags over here, the two spawn points. With the radar, you'll also be able to see enemy ships. I'm going to go back up here and we'll talk a little bit about movement. Movement keys and moving around your aiming cursor is the simplest thing in the world with Spark. The arrow keys are by default your movement keys. You can go diagonal, move up, down, left, right. Use your arrow keys for this. Aiming with your mouse is going to be used for shooting off your weapons. As you can see, I've got a cursor here, and depending on where I aim it, that's where I'm going to be shooting. Weapons are very, very simple within Spark as well. You're going to be using your mouse buttons as well as your mouse for aiming. Your left mouse button is going to fire off your lasers. As you notice, just a quick thing with your lasers, there is an energy bar attached to all of your weapons up here. Once you're out of energy, you need to wait for it to build up a little bit more before you're going to be able to fire a larger spread or a larger grouping of lasers. You also have your three special weapons. Your missiles. Each special weapon, by the way, is fired through your right mouse button. Your grenades. And your bouncies. Now, you'll notice with each of your specials that there is a count up energy bar for each of your specials. Once that energy bar reaches full, it will give you another special up to its maximum. 3 missiles, 2 grenades, and 3 bouncies are allowed at one time. Now that we've covered spawn points, pens, changing teams, movement weapons, and radars, let's talk a little bit about flags, switches, portals, and some of the various terrains within Spark. Now you'll notice I'm on the green team here. I'm going to come up here and you'll notice 2 flags, one to the right of me, one to the left of me. Now I can pick up either of these flags. These 2 white flags are considered neutral flags. And I pick them up simply by moving my ship over top of them. Now one thing to keep in mind when you do have a flag on your ship, your movement speed does slow significantly. By default, your tab key will actually drop your flag on the ground. So if you're being attacked and you want to get a higher speed so that you can dodge missiles or lasers or bouncies, by all means feel free to press your tab key. Don't forget to pick up your flag afterwards. Taking your flag back to your base is very, very simple. You just bring it to your base's flag point, flag return point, and it'll automatically pick it up. Now, there are some types of games or some types of maps that are solely dedicated towards capture the flag mode, where the object of the game is to find the flags, bring them back to your base, and capture them before you die. Now, there are some types of maps that are dedicated towards switch mode. So basically, your object of the game is just to flip all the switches. You'll notice the two flipped switches over here are flipped to the yellow position. I'm going to change that by running over with the green team, and that'll automatically change the switch to a green team. Once all the switches are flipped for your team, the game is over, you win, and it'll give you a score over here for each team. Now, the other thing we want to talk about is portals. Some portals are blank and you cannot actually see them, but you'll automatically be transported when you cross over them. Some are very distinct and you can see where the portal is. As soon as your ship passes over a portal point, it's going to port you to the appropriately linked portal. So you'll notice that these two are linked together, and I can just portal back and forth to them. Now let's talk about a couple of the different types of terrains or a couple of the different types of walls within the game. These two things that I'm shooting at right now are your bunkers. You can shoot through them one way, but you cannot shoot through them from the outside. These are great for getting position of advantage over the team incoming. However, keep in mind that within there, you are somewhat trapped, so keep that in mind. The other types of terrains are ones that you can shoot through, but not walk through. And then there's terrains that you can't shoot through, but you can walk through. These are just a few of the types of terrains around the Spark community. Again, depending on the map maker's preference. You'll notice this little escalator thing that I jump on. It's actually going to move my ship without me moving it at all. To get a faster speed, I can press the directional arrow to move along with the escalator, and my ship moves faster. To go against the escalator, though, causes my ship to run slower. Well, that basically covers the various types of terrains and barriers within Spark. You'll find many, many more within your playing experience, however. But I do want to direct you for further tutorials to go to http://swat.spark-realm.net. Again, this tutorial is brought to you by your Spark World Ambassador team, as always, helping dedicated players to develop their skills to the highest potential. Please check us out online. Thanks again for watching.